All right. What's up, everybody? Today I've got Helen Greene from what I always say this backwards. Um, what's the name of your channel?
Free Thinkers Fireside.
Yes, I was going to say Fireside something. So,
You would have gone there eventually. I probably would have gone close enough.
uh, I've got you set up with my bot here, so it should when well, my keyboard's not doing anything. Fantastic. Um, I've got you set up where it should, when I type the command here, give all of your information to everybody in
Okay, cool.
chat so they can find you. Uh, and but yeah, thanks for coming and talking to me. I was I had seen you in chat before, in my chat and other places, under the name Hell's Bells, and um, you said to me, you said a little birdie said that we should be friends.
Yeah, that was Robin. So I was like, and I was like, okay, because she told me several times that we needed to hang, and I was like, okay. I'm like, I'll reach out because peer pressure. So
Well, people have to like. While I do a lot of this, and I've made a lot of acquaintances and stuff along the way, I don't. There's a lot of channels that I don't know of, and especially people who have been around the community for a number of years. I'm actually further behind meeting them than newer people because of the circles that started out in, I guess. So
yeah,
I had seen you in chat, but didn't really know who you were, and then I was like, okay, so I have a name now, so let's go look, and went and looked up some stuff, and I was like, how do I not know this person? This is
it's one of those things that because I did a lot of surfing on a lot of other people's podcasts before I started my channel. So I was just like, so I used to say like, well, I'm like, I volunteer for the atheist community of Austin and recovering from religion. I'm like, put it in my name and my stupid face will show up. But now I can, which is true, but now I can just direct people to my channel. So,
yeah.
or if you watch the nonprofits with the AC, I'm on that show too. So my mug is somewhere. So
Yeah, I seen you had I seen that you've been doing a lot of stuff and things on your channel with sitting down and talking to various people and things, and I watched some of those, and then I watched you with the Apostate Sisters. That's one of my.
yep, and Nancy's now my internet wife. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Uh,
we're gonna have a ceremony.
so the you've been in the community doing various things for a long time, but you just recently started on your own YouTube channel, right?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah. I started it in November.
right. And how long were you doing the nonprofits thing?
Oh God, I've been doing the nonprofits almost 3 years.
Oh wow.
Yeah, which is weird when I think about it. But yeah, it's been at least 3 years. I started doing the nonprofits. So
Yeah. And sorry, I'm ducking out a can here. Uh,
that's fine.
fixing things on the fly. But let's see if we can get your stuff to work right now, because I want everybody to be able to. It had all the links and everything in it as well. There it goes.
No, thanks.
Um, that's all the places that you can find Helen if you'd like to speak with her. You prefer Helen?
Helen or Hell's Bells or
Helen.
Goddess, whatever.
Goddess. I,
Mistress of the Night, whatever. I'll take titles.
I'll call you Goddess, but if my girlfriend comes in and beats the shit out of both of us, um, you
It's
know.
fine.
But No, I think that what we're seeing currently is that women and well, especially women were underrepresented in the creator community, and
Yeah.
still are. But we see at least that's growing, and I think that's an awesome thing. So I'm always happy to see more women, black non-believers. Happy to see them, growing in various directions where people don't necessarily always think of that first, and so
Hmm.
that's really awesome. That you're doing those things on your own still, even after separating from the other stuff or whatever. But
I think like for me, I had to one, I wanted because of my connections through recovering from religion, I met a lot of people. So that kind of helped. Um, and then I felt like I had to get sort of comfortable with interviewing people and having conversations. Because I've been thinking of starting a channel for like a year or two, but like I was like, what do I want to do? Um and what I realized is that I don't want to edit. So I was like, I could do lives. So and then I figured because I'm lazy. I was like, well, I know plenty of people that will come on my channel, and there's also some new people in the community I kind of want to give voice to, or I think certain people are underrepresented. Even though like my channel is like it's just under 200 subscribers, which is fine. Like I feel for the very niche thing in this space that we do. Like I had 100 in the first month, so I was like, cool, and that was probably most people that know me. Um, so and then
um,
after that it kind of slowly growing, but I'm not looking. I just do this because like one, I think it's my ADHD. Like I want to have conversations with people because there's all these really interesting perspectives that or education people have that that I think they should share, because I allow the guests to choose what they want to talk about.
yeah,
um so and because like it doesn't have to be about activism or atheism. Like if you wanted to come on and talk about Lord of the Rings for an hour and a half, sure, I don't care. Like me and I talked about with my friend Stephanie D&D for a while.
yeah.
And then me and my friend Val talked about Dragon Age for a little bit. So it's one of those things that um kind of a side effect of doing the channel, because like my major thing too is that a lot of us are in this space either like debunking religion or explaining like our philosophical positions and things like that, or talking about their deconversion. And what I wanted for people to know the person and the things that they care about and a little bit more of their personality, rather than having to kind of push always what their activism is doing. So and I'm not saying like if you want to, like I said, you can talk about whatever you want. And um so like that was kind of my inspiration to do it. And also too, like I didn't want to edit.
Right. Hey, you have no idea how the same we are. Because here lately, where I've been pushing the Ark Encounter protest, I've been debating some creationists and talking more about that kind of thing. But really, I don't spend a lot of time talking about religion at all. Uh, we may talk about something and how religion may affect that thing or whatever, but like as far as like the main topic being debunking religious claims and stuff, I don't really do much of that. It's not. I think that there's a lot of the community that is kind of past some of that. Like not to. And I've said this a number of times, but I think there's a lot of value in like information and stuff through debates and arguing and all that. But there's also a lot of people who have seen that stuff over and over, and the arguments aren't really changing, and they
No.
really want to grow community rather than arguments. Um, and but that's the beautiful thing about it, is because we can have all those perspectives at once, right? So there can be people that do that and do a great job of it. Matt Dillahunty is great at debating. Everybody knows this, but me, I'm not so great at it. But there's other things I can talk about, you know, and so yeah, I think that's an awesome idea, and that's really very similar to me in a lot of ways. So maybe Robin was onto something.
I know, right? I'm gonna have to give Robin a high five later.
Yeah,
But like, it's one of those things when, because I do, um, I do through the ACA. I do a TikTok live every Tuesday night at 7. So if you want to come see me talk to people on TikTok on Tuesdays, feel free. I do it every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern. And I've been doing it for a year and a half, but like I'm not very argumentative. I'm like, because people want to know, I also do it too because I am woman and I feel like we're underrepresented. So and I'm also a queer person, so I kind of want to bring that. And I'm middle aged, I'm older, so I have all these perspectives. And I'm an atheist, and I'm a mother, and I kind of wanted to represent that within myself. And also because of the work I've done with recovering from religion, um, I I try to be as kind as I can to people, and where they are, um, because there have been a few people that have come back and want to hear what I have to say, because I don't make them feel stupid, and I kind of go, I just push a little bit, and I always say, like, I just want to have a conversation, like I want to get,
yeah,
hear a perspective that's different than mine, because I hang in atheist, secular, progressive circles. We might argue, over like little quibbles. It's like, is corn better than peas? But other than that, I'm like, we're all kind of in the same sort of space, where versus, when I'm talking to a theist, I'm talking to someone that has a different worldview. And also there's a, like, one of my favorite theists, that theist, he shows up every week. We become like, TikTok friends, and he tells me dad jokes every Tuesday, and it makes me happy. So
yeah. And TikTok seems to be where a lot of this conversation has moved to. There's a lot of interaction on TikTok with having conversations about various theist positions and stuff. So you're right there in the right place too. But no, I agree with you on that too, because I'm always like, hey, I don't really want to have a debate. Can't we just have a discussion? Like, instead of bringing me your arguments, why don't you tell me about what you believe and why? And and I don't intend to like be confrontational with most people. I think that, and I'm not trying to say they're silly or dumb or anything, because myself, I grew up as a young Earth creationist. I get that indoctrination is a thing. Like,
mhm.
it's not, people don't choose what they believe. You're either convinced of something or you're not, or you're convinced that it's not true, whatever the case may be. But do you did you come from a religious background?
Yeah, I was raised Catholic, and I left officially left the religion in 2002, 2003, because my yeah, it was around that time, because I had two small children, and the sex abuse scandal thing came out, and I was like, because I was in New England during Spotlight, so like my church was part of the Massachusetts diocese, because there was an extension into the lower part of southern New Hampshire, where I'm from.
Oh, right.
So that was a big thing. um, my CCD teacher, this was a few years after, unalived himself when the allegations came out. So I was like, I'm a SA survivor, not through the church, but through different circumstances. And so all those things, I was like, F this, bye bye. And then I was in the pagan religion for 13 years, and I was a high priestess, like a leader, for 10 years. And I've been out of any sort of belief for 6, 7 years now.
Yeah, yeah. So you were you were in the pagan religion and believed in the supernatural power of it, because I know that there's kind of like those lines have kind of gotten blurred here recently. But yeah, there's a lot of Jess, who helps out with the channel here, is in chat there, said she's an ex-pagan as well. There's a lot of that in this community, people who pagans and witchcraft and various different supernatural areas that they've went into after religion, or mainstream religion, I guess. I don't know how you would word that. But oh, but what does this say? The money's in it. The
I was
money's in it.
I missed the why because I was saying thank you, so we'll say thanks.
Well,
And
six
I always
sixty
give
six.
$6.66 because just me.
Well, no, much appreciated. It's not. We don't usually have the guests on here doing that, but I appreciated it all the same.
No problem.
Uh, yeah, you. So you seem to not. I mean, you have serious conversations about lots of things, but you don't care to laugh and stuff too when it's appropriate. And I think that there's, a lot of folks that just get too wrapped up and like too serious about themselves when having these conversations, and it's okay, especially with community, to kind of be a little looser about it, and not freak everybody out every time you talk about religion.
Well, I think also too, like, there has to be like I understand. Like I understand that for some people their deconstruction is it can be traumatic when you have that big paradigm shift. I get it. I do. I didn't have it extreme as other people did. Mine was more of a death of a thousand cuts. And then I kind of got to the realization I was like, well, fuck. I'm like, I don't have any justification to believe any of this shit. So that was just the end, where some people, and I didn't suffer any social consequences. I still have all my family. Yeah, they had some problems with me not being part of the church anymore and rejecting any sort of religious structure. But it was more of a difference in philosophy, not that we loved each other any less, and my pagan friend group is still pretty much my friend group. And also I also have a bunch of secular friends and atheist friends, both online and and in my real life. So for me, I was like, the social consequence wasn't even there, where I see other people that have had those social consequences or they were ostracized in a certain way. And I think that anger has its place and it should have its place. But for me, I'm not angry anymore. I'm just kind of like as long, because I really don't care what you believe, is what you do with your beliefs. Because if you start going online and like if you're an atheist and there's plenty of like racist, homophobic, transphobic, butthead atheists online, like I can tell you that I want nothing to do with you. Like we agree on an idea that there's probably not any gods, but everything else, I'm like, you're a shithead,
Yeah,
And but if there's like a theist that is a really kind person, we just are, debating about whether God exists or not, but they're like, a kind, welcoming, good person. Like I definitely want to hang out with them, you know. And I think that's where I am, that I'm not in the, I can see what the trauma did. And I think that's why people do get very passionate. I was never really there. Um, so I rather, when I'm talking to someone that is a believer, I kind of want to meet them where they're at, unless they are condescending to, if they're not being honest interlocutor, like, fuck you, man. And I also don't like being condescended to. And I can also tell when you're being sexist. So I'm like, I can tell. I'm very well practiced. So I think that when we're having a conversation back and forth with people, I think that it is good if you want to shift a mind, um if you allow the person to process what you're saying to them, and because I'll say like, I'm just planting seeds, like I'm just giving you things to cook your noodle, because it is some things that you have to think about.
Yeah. You don't change anybody's mind by being a mean asshole to
Yeah,
them either.
all
I
right.
mean, like, not even that that's the goal, but you don't make them want to even look into changing their mind by being mean to them. The And also again, it's quite funny because I literally say I don't care what you believe, I care about what you do with those beliefs. I
Right.
say that all the time, which I kind of stole from Stephanie Helms, which, I mean, not that it was hers, but she said it all the time. And
I don't know who I heard it from. I probably heard it somewhere in the atheist community along the
yeah,
way or something. So, and I was like, yeah, that's pretty much how it is. I don't really care. You can believe in Bob the Wonder Toast, or you can believe that dolls grow toenails after thrown into dumpsters. I don't care about that as long as you're being kind to people, um, and you respect people, for the way they want to live their life. That's all I care about.
yeah,
Unless you're hurting somebody, leave people the fuck alone.
yeah, yeah, and uh, again, that I agree because the even within people who call themselves atheists, there's like Atheists for Liberty, which I don't think is a very great group of people. And there's just because we agree that we don't, believe that a God exists, uh, doesn't prevent them from holding a whole lot of other horrible beliefs. And you also run into, and one of the conversations I love having is whenever I run into an atheist who is still like employing some kind of theistic thinking in the way that they're addressing certain situations. And I'm like, yeah, that sounds a lot like religion. You may want to think, you may want to rethink how you're looking at that thing. But also, like, I think that's the big difference too. Is like within the atheist community, we hold each other accountable, and whereas like you don't see churches, condemning the things that Kent Hovind says and does. Uh,
Right. And I think that is a fundamental difference. I because like this is kind of, I think this is a philosophy of a lot of us that have gone to the space, that if you deconstructed a belief, of a religious faith, you should be just deconstructing all your beliefs. Like, why don't I like queer people? Like, that should be something you should ask yourself some questions about. Why do I don't like these certain types of people? Why do I have this particular political leaning? Um, why do why why do I think the thoughts I do? Like, you should, have a certain epistemology that you're going through. And when you don't do that,
yeah,
then you start, you can fall into like, red pill shit, or like atheist women that are, they're trying to be like, you know what was going on in the 2010s in this community, and with Gamergate going on, and kind of like flipping the script. And I'm like, okay, let's take it down a notch. Okay. And I think that there has to be a certain amount of examining your perspective in a lot of those things, because it keeps you from falling into old traps that your beliefs kind of hold you into.
right. And it's easy, especially when because like deconstructing. I think that a lot of a lot of people on both sides, but a lot of theists especially, see it as this like little, like it's not a huge life changing experience when it very much is. And sometimes your ability, you realize that your ability to assess the situation isn't as good as you thought it was.
Oh
um,
no.
yeah, which
No.
can lead to some bad ideas. I mean, uh, who are you waving to, AJ?
Oh, because AJ's here,
Oh,
and I know
yeah,
John. So
right.
like so like some of the motherfuckers I know are here. So hi. I'm a waiver. Like I'll be in my own show, and some will show up. I'm like
No, no. Hey,
hi.
as far as I'm concerned, this is more your show than mine today. So, in fact, this may be more your show than your
So,
show.
and I know
Um,
Pragmatic Crystal, and like I'm like hi, like all my friends are here, and then I get all
right.
excited. Because I'm a 5-year-old and I have object permanence problems, and you don't exist unless you're directly in front of me. So when you're in front of me, it's like oh my god, I haven't seen you in like forever, and it's been like like I talked to AJ yesterday,
Yeah,
so
I do
maybe we
that
should talk
too.
all the time.
I do that too. I get excited when I see certain people, especially ones that I don't get to see that often come in.
Yeah.
But I imagine we have much of the same friends,
We
which is
always like it is. I think also too like I this is kind of my perspective, and you can tell me what you think about this. Like, okay, since I volunteer for the atheist community of Austin, um, that type of channel isn't like even though I volunteer for them, and I do the nonprofits, but I like the nonprofits because we're talking about politics and current events from our perspective. I'm not trying to debate anybody. Um, where the live shows and also shows on the line and let's talk. I think at Skeptic Haven, those dialogues are not really for us anymore. We're kind of on the other side. We're like I've heard all like we talking about this before the show. Like
Mhm.
I've heard all the apologetics rebuttals. I know how to debate morality really well. I know to stay in my lane. Like this all this stuff I know. So even like I tell people I'm like I even though I volunteer for the ECA on the weekends, I don't spend a lot of time watching content. Once in a while, if I scroll through our clips and there's a particular topic I want to listen to, and especially if it's like I have favorites at the ACA. I'm not gonna lie, because they're my friends. Um,
Right.
and if it's especially if it's a couple of them paired together, then I'm like, okay, cool. But for the most part, um, I don't really listen to the arguments anymore, but I think those conversations are important. This type of stuff where we're, when I was on the Apostate Sisters and we're sharing experiences and talking about how we got to where we are and why we do the stuff that we do. I think that's that's what I like. I think so.
Yeah. No.
And
And
John just to let you know, I am drinking. I'm drinking Malbec, so I am drinking, but I'm drinking wine because I'm fancy. So-
I don't drink, but I haven't smoked any weed yet today either. So
Oh, I had a gummy earlier today
yeah.
when I came home because
Ooh.
like work has just been uh insane. So we're down a person and they're not starting until May, and I have extra workload and stuff. So and also because we live in the United States, we live in hell. So there's just been a lot, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go hang out on Kentucky Atheist and chill, have a conversation. You did said I could drink, so
Yeah.
I was like,
No.
okay.
This is the most chill place you could probably come to because I don't really give a shit about too much of anything. But the I couldn't agree with you more though about the like. There's some people that are just like past this arguing thing. Like I get that it's still good for many people, and I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but
No,
there are some people that just kind of like okay, can we stop doing that and talk about real stuff now, like actual lives and actual things that people deal with, and because it almost feels like it's like because you hold such silly beliefs, you somehow think it's my job to stop and explain it to you over and over and over. And I didn't sign up for that. That's not my problem. I don't care if you really want to know something and like have a conversation and benefit from it. Cool. But like when you bring arguments, you're not looking for that. You're just waiting for your chance to argue with me. And And yeah, I get like, especially with creationists, there's a lot of, they want to come and talk about evolution. And I'll start every one of those conversations with, now look, everybody, I don't think that, they're going to debunk evolution here, but let's say that they did. Um, they still have all their work to do. They've done nothing. We're still at this point, like, here we've argued about something that is well understood in science, and rather than talking about the reason that they're denying this thing, and I don't think it's real helpful uh, on a bigger scale, I guess. But yeah, so I can appreciate
Well,
that.
I think, and also too, like I do know when I'm having a more heated discussion on TikTok that tends to, I'm never angry, but I think there's a difference between anger and passionate. Um, and like I definitely get frustrated, and but I don't really get angry because like usually at the first sign someone's acting like a butthead, like if you're being condescending to me, or or you're even if you're in my chat and you're being kind of a jerk. And I have like two rules on my channel, like no proselytizing and don't be a butthead. And
Yeah,
like they're all very simple rules. If I tell you the rules and you're not listening to me, I'm like fuck you and I kick you out. Like that's all you gotta. They're very simple rules, and um, but I think the anger can only, and also if you're deconstructing, I think that if you are deconstructing, I think that those passionate arguments, because you're in that cognitive dissonance and you're trying to work through it, that it stirs up a lot of emotions and you can see it reflected. And also too, like I know that this is what early people do, is that if I listen to these arguments, I'll be able to cut my family members out of being religious. And I'm like, no, you're not. No, you're not. I'm like, you can debate and like have philosophical discussions, but you're not changing your mom from being like, a Bible believing thumping Baptist. Like, you think you're gonna do it?
that's the first thing I did was call my mom and was like, I think after my first Hitchens debate I called my mom and I was like, Mom, all that stuff's bullshit. Listen, and um, yeah, it didn't help. She still calls me trying to tell me that I should believe in God, and
Me and my
I'm
mom
like,
don't talk about it. So, but
yeah,
she's 94. She
yeah,
turned 94 on Monday. So, she just wants me to call her once a week and tell her that I love her at this point. And so, like that's fine.
yeah. No, no, and my mom and I rarely speak of it. Just every now and then she'll be like, I wish you wouldn't have became an atheist, and I'm like, why, but that's a whole other conversation. My mother problems, yeah. The shit about getting frustrated with oh yeah, well he can keep waiting. Uh, about getting frustrated with. Sorry, I'm talking to my Discord messages.
Okay, I was like, what? I'm like, because then I was looking at the chat and I was like, I'm so
uh,
confused.
apparently, so I mentioned this to you earlier. I talked to Kent Hovind, and he was wanting me to come talk about why we are doing the Ark Encounter protest, and I said I would do that at 6:30. I never heard anything from anybody, so I didn't do it. And apparently now he's wondering where I'm at. I guess there was a time zone miscommunication or something, but whatever. Not really. We can do that another time. The I look forward to it so much. The getting frustrated
You
with
sound like
people.
it.
Though. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Uh,
Wait, you don't want to leave me and go talk
oh yeah,
to him?
yeah. No.
Okay.
I've already talked to Kent Hovind once today. That's enough. The
That man breaks my brain. This
well, he's
he's a special, like I said before, he's a very special boy.
he's
Um,
dedicated.
yeah, he's very special.
He's dedicated. to what is debatable. But
Right.
the, so getting frustrated with people though, like when they're being dishonest and stuff, that really just like pisses me off to no end. I I said I'd been doing a couple debates and stuff leading up to this ARC thing, and in 1 week I debated one guy where we had a wonderful conversation and talked about the things. I think that he was, as good of an interlocutor as I could have asked for. I had another guy though who wanted to sit and argue about Mary Swatzer in the face of her saying that he's wrong, and like I was literally playing a clip of her saying you're misrepresenting my work and that's not valid, and uh, kept arguing the same thing and just like got on my nerves to the point I ended up cussing him out for like 20 minutes of the stream. But yeah, so I understand the getting frustrated with people.
Well, I told you I told you about the young Earth creationists I talked to last week, and my brain just kind of it broke. I was because you are like you and I don't exist on the same planet, like.
Right.
And this is not saying that this person's unintelligent. I wanted to make this absolutely fucking clear. And also, like, it's being religious doesn't make you delusional. It doesn't make you dumb. It's just it's just a form of indoctrination, and some people are never going to get there, and I unless this person is really wants to shift their view and accept that there might be a different perspective, um they're just going to double down,
Yeah.
and but also I have to wonder, because when these people think that, because they've had to talk to another atheist before, maybe because we're on a public forum, and um like we're on social media, and like we're inviting the conversation, and might be a little bit different. I don't know. Also, there's that personal connection to the person, but at
Yeah.
the same time, I'm like, are you ever like watching atheist YouTube, or like listening to debates? Like, are you reading any sort of philosophy books or anything like that? Because if you come at me with like the earth is only 6,000 years old, I'm going to have some questions.
Right. Right.
I'm going to have lots of questions.
Well, my thing is like, so you talk a lot about philosophy and stuff, or at least philosophical ideas, and there's one of the things that I try to get across to them is like, okay, you want to have this conversation about science when we have a process where we follow the evidence to a conclusion in science. Whereas the position from like a young earth theist or whatever is, I have
Mhm.
this book that's true and I'm going to work my way backwards to make the evidence fit that conclusion, which is post hoc rationalization. And it's it's one of those things that is like so incredibly frustrating to get them to understand. It's like, absent your book, you don't come to any of those conclusions. Like you never do.
Right.
So when you say the earth is 6,000 years old, I'm curious of what mechanism you're using to get to that, like and if it's your book, fine, then we need to talk about your book, which they don't ever want to really do. Uh,
Oh, don't start talking to me about Bible quotes, because I got a Bible hub where there's 420 Bibles, like versions of the Bible on the website. So I'm like, okay, I'm like, what version are we doing? Because they put all the versions of all the different Bibles on the website. So I'm like, okay, I'm like, what version are we using? Because there's like there's a couple hundred here, so let's go. And then I also get, like, I was talking to one person that the Bible wasn't sexist, and I was like, "Oh, honey," I'm like, "Let's pull up some scripture." I'm like, mm. Don't, because I like to, and it's not because I'm trying to like own people or anything like that, but I'm like, you have to understand the thing that you say that it is your belief. So, and I think that for some people, that they're not expecting us to do that.
Yeah.
I think like that. Like I really don't think they're expecting us to say like, okay, let's have a conversation about this. Okay, what do you think about this? What do you think about this? Like I'm not well versed in the Bible. That's why I have to use Bible Hub because I didn't because I'm like it's just a bunch of stories to me, you know. And it's not well written. It's a very dry read.
Yeah, that's what I was
I
gonna
have
say. Not
ADHD.
much fun to
I
read
can't read
either.
something that's dry.
Right.
I
Uh,
did that in college.
well, like I've read the Bible more than once, cover to cover, and I feel like I'm familiar with some parts of it better than others. But I've got a neat tool in EVMux where it's got an app I can put on screen that will give me whatever version of the Bible, popular versions, of course. And I can pull it up and it'll show it on screen, whatever book and verse I pull up, which is kind of neat, but I get very little use out of it actually. But nice to have different versions for whoever you're talking to because you don't know. Um, One of the things I say about, especially with fundamentalists, is that I'm always concerned when I have them on because I don't know what they're going to say because we can
Right.
be just trucking right along. You don't know at what point in the conversations the cart jumps the track to crazy town, and
Right.
yeah. So, and I mean, I know like with us talking, that's not the way I would word it to them, but like obviously,
Well,
you know,
we're a little bit more sensitive depending on who's in front of us. So,
yeah, yeah,
like you and I are speaking, you and I are speaking the same language, because we're in these fucking circles, but like but I'm talking to a believer, I have to change the way I'm presenting my arguments, and I think that there has to be those sort of discussions happening, but I don't like the old school, like, because like I didn't read any of the Four Horsemen. I like mine was all through just slowly questioning, and then I went to college, studied psychology and philosophy, and then holy shit, everything started to untangle.
yeah,
It was unraveling, and I was like, oh my god. I was like, um which was great because it was just cooking my noodle, and because I wanted the information. I wanted to learn.
you had a better epistemology to
Yeah.
assess those questions, and
Mhm.
I think a lot of it comes down to that. Like one of the cool things about, even though I didn't really get to do much with RFR, a lot of the training stuff and things helped me with my street epistemology game for sure. So I'm thankful for that. The uh, but it you have a different tool set though. Like once you've left, especially those that have experienced religious belief and left it, right? You
Mhm.
you know what tools you used to look at those questions and answer them for yourself. So you're curious about how others answer those same questions. I mean, it's really that's why I think anybody who's experienced that can have these conversations. You don't have to be some super genius about something or the best
No.
debater or any of that. Just willing
um
to
and,
talk about it.
and also too, like, deconstruction doesn't mean that you leave belief. There's a really good channel I really like. It's called the New Evangelicals. The person is a progressive evangelical, and I would love to hang out with him.
Yeah,
I highly recommend his work. He is all for queer rights, political discourse, progressive democracy, and all this sort of stuff. Like some of the belief, I'm just kind of like, okay, like that sounds a little bit of a justification, but that's fine. That's fine. That's usually what we're doing. We're justifying our perspectives. So I get that. But he's aligned with my values, and I really like his content. I really, really do, because it's this understanding that deconstruction does not mean letting go of belief. And if you've deconstructed, like, okay, this actually has a history, and then you might get to the point that you're choosing to believe in God, and you might get to like a deist perspective where you like admit that it is a choice. um and I'd rather have that. I rather have, and then just blind belief,
yeah,
and recognizing that, I think this is true, and I know it's a choice, rather than insist and not insisting that I have your perspective.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Do you think that it's some measure of dishonesty, or it's just like the indoctrination that makes many theists unable to like fathom even that position, because it seems like they can't internalize
The
it.
thing is though, like with like the I can't remember his name right now, and I feel so disrespectful. Not I'm just mentioning his channel name. I can't remember his actual name, like because I'm high. So there's that. But um, chemicals aside, um, he hangs out with atheists, so he's plugged into our circles. He's plugged into the deconstructionist circles,
Yeah.
and like, but he also takes on fundies and has conversations with them and tries to make them realize, like, hey, you say that you're disavowing queer people as love, but how is that love? Like, I'm like, okay. I was like, hello. All right. I get you, man. Thank you. So I realize that people are complex. And I think that, I don't, and honestly, I don't care to answer your
Right.
question. I just don't care. And this
Yeah,
is why.
I mean that's
It's
fair.
because our values are aligned. It's not, our beliefs aren't,
Right.
but our values are. And I think we have, especially now, I'm sorry, everybody, we're living in hell. Get over your fucking, get over your humps. Okay. Like, align with people that want the same values that you do. Like, if they want to worship Bob the Wonder Toes or God or Thor or whatever, fine. Let them do it. Let them do it. The Big
Yeah.
with Lebowski, they're Jedis, whatever. Let them go do it. Okay. The thing we're worried about right now is that we have to be aligned on the values that you want to live in democracy, and you want to let them worship Bob the Wonder Toast, and you're going to go over here and debate Bob the Wonder Toast with them. And nobody's making laws about it.
I think that's a great point. That's a great way to look at it. Actually, I like that. I hadn't really thought of it quite that way, but the I do wish though that somebody would come to me and claim to be a Jedi. I would
Oh my
enjoy
god, I would love that so much. It is a religion though. You can get it on your dog tags.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, Yeah, because my son's in the army, but like he's an atheist. So when they asked like what was religion, they said none, and they put it on his dog tag. So I was like, I love that.
Yeah.
Uh, but it just cracks me up. Um, but if somebody came to me being a Jedi, I was like, what is? Because there is a cult called the Zezians, which I highly recommend. You go listen to the episode. Okay, Behind the Bastards, I'm going to mention it again. Those of you that know me, I say this a lot. Please go listen to this podcast. I love it. And they did a 4-part series on the Zezians, which was started by with which was started by an autistic trans woman who was working in California, and as part of this um Silicon Valley hyper intellectual, like, weird place where they're going to make a nice AI, and they want to program certain, and they have certain really good values, like they're vegans, they kind of believe in progressive politics, but then it got weird. And then but they also think like things like being a Jedi, but they're more on the Sith side. It gets weird. They're more on the Sith side. And also, there was a whole Harry Potter fanfic associated with this cult that led to the members of the cult killing people on the Canadian border in Vermont. It is fascinating.
It sounds
So there you
fascinating.
go.
Their PC put it in chat. I knew she would. I knew it was
I
on
know,
point.
it's so good. Oh my god, you guys have to listen to this. Like, trust me, I'm going to change your life. So,
Everybody needs to go add this to their watch later list.
Just
But
like I listened to it on my commute to and from work, and I was like, "Oh my god!" What was the call we did the show for on the nonprofits? Oh, was that the? Oh, I don't remember that one. Oh, god damn it, AJ! Like, I'm trying to remember. Like now, there's quiz. I'm high and there's quizzes, AJ.
it's funny. The
Give me quizzes.
yeah, I'm gonna have to send AJ a link apparently.
I know,
uh,
right?
yeah. The yeah. So I've ran into a few
Oh,
that
you
are
talked about the Zezians and the nonprofits? What?
oh
I missed that episode. You haven't sent it to me. Okay. Because like I to be fair, yeah, there's a lot of episodes of the nonprofits and I'm on that show and I have ADHD and I only got so much time.
well, I mean they
I'm
cover.
subscribed to so many channels and I don't watch them. Like,
I actually watch very little atheist content. Like I'll go and say hi and maybe like
yeah.
drop a
I'm a
super
very
chat.
good like
Yeah,
drive-by
yeah,
supporter.
yeah, and not because I don't, I'm not interested in what they have to say or whatever. It's just like a lot of times I'm so busy with so many other things now that I don't get to sit down and just watch my friends' channel
I
often.
I've started that my schedule. I started just doing my channel on Thursdays, but now I've had to expand out. So I sometimes I'll have an episode on a Monday or a Saturday, because I find out that I know a lot of people, and so I'm like, well, I started having to expand. Plus, on Tuesdays I do stuff with the ACA, and then I do occasionally on a Wednesday I'll do an episode of the nonprofits, and then I'm also going to be volunteering with RFR again. And I also have a family and a husband that really want my attention, so there's that. And like this weekend, me and my best friend, so my best friend turned 50 on the 5th and I turned 48th on the 9th. And I was like, okay, listen, motherfucker, best friends tattoos. So we're gonna go get tattoos on Saturday. So he's gonna he told me what I was getting and I forgot. I'll find out. I'll know on for Saturday. But I'm going to get a xenomorph with the poly sexual flag colors because I was going to get cats in the same sort of idea that I'm doing, but it's evolved into a xenomorph because I'm feeling a lot of feminist rage and I want to stab a bunch of people with my pre-homicide tail. Oh my god,
I've got a Grim Reaper, and his
that's
sock
awesome,
is rainbow colored. It's got the
very
thing.
cool.
Yeah. Um, I've got a bunch of tattoos. They're just not all obvious.
AJ, your tattoo came out really, really cool. So,
Some of my tattoos were done in prison and stuff, so they're not great. But which
my
a whole nother story again.
like this is probably 15 years old. The most recent one was this, and this was
Ooh, that sucks.
8 years ago. Oh my god, I love it. This is for my father. My father's birthday was in December because all the tattoos are birthday month flowers. So of people that I love and care about. So my dad was December, and I got a poinsettia. I will tell you, most people when they do elbow tattoos will not do the bone. Guess what I did? Worse, where it was worse than my lower back tattoo. Because it was a different type of pain because like the lower back tattoo was on the spine. This
Hmm.
was directly on the bone and it's a lot of dark, which is very fine needles, guys. Like, did I do this to myself willingly? Yes.
You can feel it just vibrating the bone when you do that, though, and it's like,
Yeah, you can. It's not
yeah,
comfortable.
yeah, it's not. It's a bad spot. Most of mine are in decent spots. I've got my wrists and my legs and my arms and
Yeah, my next one's going to be on this arm. The one I'm going to do, it's going to be on the inside of my arm. And this was nothing. So I was like, I'm older. I don't. I'll get on this side. So
no, I would love to get more tattoos. I just it's never a priority. And I get what you're saying too about not having time for things. I've got a 6 year old, so I've got a
oh
six
yeah, I
year old
remember those
and
days.
an 8 year old. So
I do remember those days. Mine are now 20, 23 and 21, 24 and 21. But you know,
well, I've got a 22 year old stepson too, and a
yeah,
an 18 year old son as well. So
you're at the two extreme
yeah, I've
ends.
fucked up and started all over.
I know. What'd you do that for? Well, like my ex husband when he got remarried, he's 52, and he has a 6 year old and a 3 year old. 7 year old and a 3 year old, and I'm like, why did you do that to yourself, man? Like after I had my son, I like shut down for business. It's only pleasure because I was like, I'm done. I have
Yeah.
2 children. I'm completely done. Nope.
Yeah, I mean, and it's always that weird thing because it's like, yeah, I don't regret my kids being born or any shit
Of
like
course not.
that, but it's like, oh boy, started that whole thing over again. Didn't really remember some of the things I went through the first time around.
Oh, it's
But
funny because like a couple of my friends, one of my dear friends has the two most little adorable monkey butts that I love, and they're my niece and nephew, and I love them to pieces. And I would do war crimes for them. They're so fucking cute. Also, at the same time, I'm so glad I'm not a mom anymore because I get to like hang out and cuddle and play, and then I give them back to my friend and go, great, I love you kids.
yeah,
And I'm done. Like, I am a great Auntie Helen. That's my job. Just
yeah,
to be
no,
Auntie Helen.
and that, Auntie Helen's probably more fun
It
than,
is so much
yeah,
fun. I get to be
yeah,
the cool aunt.
yeah.
Like, so my friend, my niece was turning 3. No, 2. And I was buying like I was on Etsy and I was looking at like stuffed goats, and I was like, can I get her a satanic goat? And she's like, no, Helen, you can't because my mother-in-law will lose her shit at this birthday party. But what I did do is that I got them C is for Cthulhu, like alphabet book, and Cthulhu is gay because he's all rainbow. And then and she goes, "Did you specifically pick out the rainbow Cthulhu?" I go, "Yes, I did." And she goes, "That's awesome." So that's me.
Yeah, that's great. So my firstborn son, I spent about 20 years as a drug addict and a heroin addict, and
Mhm.
went to prison, and then eventually got clean. I've been clean for like a little over 10 years now, and
Awesome, man.
but one of the things that I haven't done because of where I was then. Is have any kind of conversation with my kids about anything to do with religion. I don't really, I don't, we just don't talk about it at all, which is sometimes kind of weird, but where they're not introduced to it here at home and they haven't brought it home from school, at least in any major way yet, like this kid told me I'm going to hell or whatever, which in a Southern Baptist area like this will definitely happen eventually. But I haven't had any of those conversations with them yet, and I'm really sometimes concerned about how that's going to go when it comes up. But you know,
Well, like when I was raising my kids, I just told them like, if you want to be part of any sort of faith, or someone is making like, I would tell them, I'm like, if someone is like, they say they believe in God, you can be like, okay, and then ask some more questions about it, and then you and I can have a conversation about it.
yeah,
And I was always encouraging questions. Ask
yeah,
any question you got. I'll answer it for you, and if I don't know the answer, I don't know. Um, I said, and I would tell them, I go, it's not so much about belief as how people treat each other. So, but
Absolutely.
if someone is telling you that you're a bad person just for, existing as a
Right.
person, that's something you should be, aware of, because like, and both of my kids are atheists. And, because they grew up in internet culture. Um, and even when I was in the pagan religion, I didn't force religion on my kids at all. I like they participated in ritual and stuff like that, but at the same time, I wasn't invested in them becoming religious. I was like, they have to figure this stuff out on their own. This is not my job. I just want them to grow up to be like, be
Well,
nice to
that's
people and function in society. I did my job. I did a good job. Okay. I'm a functioning adult,
well, that's how
mostly.
I. So, so it's this weird, and maybe you can help me with this because it's this weird thing where like I don't think that it's my place to tell them what to believe or not to believe or anything like that as far as that goes. Like I'll give them the information and they can make informed decisions, right?
Right.
But then again, I also live in eastern Kentucky in a rural area, and it's a very deeply religious area full of young Earth creationists and all this other stuff. So there's like, okay, do I? Sometimes I feel like maybe I should head off some of the things and not necessarily talk about religion, but maybe just be like,
No,
this
but
is
teach them to be
strictly
skeptical.
science. Yeah,
You
yeah,
don't have to even bring up religion. You just teach them to be skeptical. You say like you should be asking like like if they say like my teacher said the Earth is 3 point. Let's say the teacher's correct. You even say how do you know your teacher's correct?
yeah,
Like get them. That's all you got to do is get them. Like how do you know if something's true? How like morals come through actions and how we view the world comes through thought. So, and trying to balance those two things together. And like, yeah, your kids are going to be fucked up, but they're going to be like a little less fucked up.
sure,
Well, both of my kids are like, cause I'm their mother. So,
yeah,
and I'm not talking fucked up in like a negative way, but they're going to have their own perspectives and things that happen to them that they're going to need to deal with. And you're going to do your best to, protect them. But also at the same time, they, you know,
yeah,
are going to have to exist in the world. And your job as a parent is for you to be just a safe place to fall. Because like my
right,
oldest, they went to college. They were very successful in college, moved away, went to grad school, had some issues, and now they're living back in my house, but they're trying to get back on their feet. I'm
yeah,
like, I'm going to let you do what you need to do, but also say that if you need help, you need a safe place to fall. That's the place you can fall to, and as long as you respect them and get perspective, like that's, I think you're gonna do wonders for your kids just by doing that.
yeah, yeah. I think I agree with you. I just sometimes I get concerned about the things that I was told growing up and some of the stuff that went on that uh, occasionally I'll get nervous about it and think I need to be heading these things off, but then I'm like, well, it's probably better to let them discover it and then, like
I
set them
always say like,
and make a
I
good
any
decision.
question, you just say any question you got, I'll listen to you.
Yeah,
And also teach them too, like if you're like busy, and you can't answer the question right now, be like, hey, I want to answer your question, but right now, like, I'm about to do my show, or I'm about to do, I have to do, help out your mom or whatever it is, but give me like, ask your question, let me think about it a little bit while I'm working, and then when I'm ready, you and I'll give you the attention it deserves.
yeah,
Because then when you're teaching them to be patient, then now answers are going to be come to them quickly. So
right,
that's a lesson you're teaching them, because the internet will tell them this is the correct answer all the time. Some answers aren't quick, because it might give you some perspective, but at the end of the day, like, it's more important like to talk with a trusted loved one and then have that discussion, and then go, hey, I'm going to give you, this is my perspective. This is, my experience. And also, when you don't know something, go, I don't fucking know. Like, don't say fucking. Like, I don't know. Let's go look it up. I think that in like be that and like you're not a dum dum, like you can gauge, you know your kids better than anybody, like what level of information can I offer, and then like at what other level do I push a little bit, to get them to think a little more,
Yeah.
and that comes when you're not highly emotional or busy or whatever. That comes when you're ready to sit down and, on the way to school, and just like, let's have a conversation. Hey, you asked me that question about, um, why, why does Mercury go faster around the sun than like our planet, and you wanted to have a conversation about that. Or why can't I pull on Susie's pigtails? And
Sounds
get
more
her
familiar.
attention. Like, like you asked me that question, like, let's have a conversation.
Yeah. So one of the things that I've done is like whenever we watch TV and stuff, I'll be like, now you see this thing with ghosts, and my kid will be like, ghosts aren't real, and I'll be like, okay, so why do you think that, like, and let him work his way through it. Even though he's really young, I think it's
I starts young.
yeah, it's good for him to work his way through why he believes what he does or doesn't, absent any indoctrination and stuff. So uh,
I
it
guarantee, like, because I gave my kids the tools to kind of explore on their own. Because my ex husband, like, he's not invested in religion at all either. He's kind of agnostic. His wife doesn't care about religion overall, so like that was easy because there was no religious. I wasn't like competing with my
yeah.
ex-husband over like, moral philosophy with our children. It was more like our emotional petty shit, which was enough. That's why your kids are gonna be fucked up, one or the other. Let them go to therapy, it'll be fine. Like, you're gonna
I,
do your best, and you do your best, and you go, guess what, for the things that happen to you that I can't help you with, I'm gonna get a therapist. Like,
well, I've met some atheists who are like in relationships and they're like, my wife's a Christian or whatever. And I'm like, how does that work? Like, how do you, because,
I don't know, like, I don't know, because like
yeah,
if I found myself, like, can you imagine yourself like single again? All right, and like,
oh,
which
fuck no.
it's terrifying. Like, don't don't think about me. Oh my god. Oh my god. Anyway, like you found yourself single again, and I would have to find a mate. I would be like, okay, I'm like, I need someone that is progressive, a feminist, is an atheist, um, also good in the sack, and also will put up with my bullshit. I have a very high tier list. like, where
Yeah.
am I going to find that guy or girl? So, or those that lie betwixt. Like, where am I going to find that? Like, I know me.
Yeah. Um, and I'm sorry
Sorry, I
too.
went off the rails about my stupid like philosophies on relationship, Helen's personal
Well,
relationships.
I'm gonna go off the rails real quick, and mods, if they're not gonna stop doing that, just go ahead and block them. Hell with it. I don't care. Um, like it's been this whole thing the whole time about people are blocking them, and that's not happened. Nobody said anything. If it's just gonna be this whole like defensive thing the whole time, just go ahead and they're just a troll at this point. All right, sorry.
I know why John's here because I'm here, and he's still butthurt that he got banned from my channel because he was um.
Oh,
I'm just
John's
gonna call
always.
you out, ma'am. I made Cindy a mod, made her a mod, and she was saying that you were kind of being problematic and like blanketing all Christians and making generalizations over and over again. And Cindy and I kind of agreed with Cindy that I was like, hey man, you can't do that
Yeah.
because that's not my position. And so that's why you got blocked from my channel. You can still watch it. So, but like, that's why, because even I don't take on that perspective, because I know a lot of people that believe in God and they're wonderful human beings. So, fuck
Yeah.
it. Don't be an asshole.
I mean, we sat here and talked about how like it's what people do, not what they believe, and we don't care what you
Yeah.
believe and all this stuff. And it's like obviously you're not listening to anything that's going on here or any part of reality. Um, which is the other
Okay.
thing. Go
And
ahead.
like, and I get it, guys. Like, I know the impulse is to put everybody under a blanket and say like every person is this way, every person is that way. But think of our own fucking community. Like, there are people in our own community that you can say like atheists are all the same, because like there are people in our community that we align on a lot of philosophical perspectives, but I also don't really like them as people. And that's a personality thing. But also there's other people in our circle that have very specific ideologies, or they do a lot of grifting, and that's a problem as well. So I tend to be on the side of the path of least resistance. I think that's better. So that's why I don't believe in blanketing, because also too, if you don't want theists to blanket us, don't do it to them. It's not a good look, man.
Yeah, yeah. One of the one of the things that we were talking about getting frustrated with people is it's like there's certain aspects of reality that we have to agree on in order to like be able to have a fruitful conversation. And if we can't like agree on basic things like how to make those decisions and I mean really basic stuff, um, then it's incredibly hard to have any kind of meaningful conversation. And so it does make it feel like a lot that then your motive is either to grift or you've got some other motive at hand, which may or may not be the case. But does that make sense at
I
all?
think and I do believe everybody like I do agree that everybody has their own approach. I'm just not in that approach where because like I'm not mad anymore. Like, and also too, like, nobody changed their mind by getting yelled at. Like, you're just like nobody, because as soon as you start yelling at someone or you start using insults, or like, they're gonna dig your heels in, because all you've done is activate the emotional part of your brain, of their brain, which is not the irrational part of your brain, thinking fast and thinking slow. This is really important. And if you start saying like, a religious person is unintelligent, or you start assuming what they think, you are you are not going to change their mind. Like, and I'm not saying you have to do the if someone's engaging with you and you don't want to have this conversation, just don't have the conversation, and don't subject yourself to conversations that are constantly going to make you frustrated. Like,
Sure.
watch a good place, like do some like clear like do some good shit for your life.
Yeah. Well, when I started doing these debates, and for the people who like I talk to behind the scenes and stuff, they can tell you like I dreaded it. I was just like because I don't I know it's not going to get anywhere and stuff, and I know that I get frustrated with it. So I was trying to not purposely put myself in a position to where I would be that way, but
Okay. um
I did.
can I, Tsunami, I'm gonna respond to what you're saying.
Yeah.
I volunteered for recovering from religion for 4 years. And I can tell you, I've talked to plenty of those people that are talking about the exact thing you're talking about. I've talked to people that have experienced spiritual and belief abuse. I have talked to people that they're all at various degree suffering from religious trauma syndrome, all the way to, hey, I've been out of the church for 30 years. I still, even though I don't believe it anymore, I still have a belief in hell. So I have talked to the extremes. What I'm talking about is that if you are in a space where some, like, if you're like, and this is how I'm explaining, because I'm in a different place. Like, I feel like my role in our community has different things that people can bring to the table. I'm in a position right now that I've been in this for 4.5 years, 4 years, 4 years, 4.5. Yeah, because I entered it in October of 2020. So it's been 4.5 years since I've been in these spaces. And I'm not saying that I have any like less experience or more experience. I just have a certain perspective. Through this perspective, I have found that when people like you, I think one that to assume every religious person is coming from a certain perspective and that they're automatically going to be this type of person, you are doing that person, and I'm talking about like live discourse, like when someone's like you're online and you are inviting a conversation, like let that person reveal who they are. um because some people want to have that, they want to have the back and forth, and they want to feel like they can do that. At other times, um there's definitely things like the things you're talking about, like SA, multi-generational trauma. Yes, that kind of shit should be called out. Like, we're talking about things on like a gradient. But if we're just going to assume every single person um, is from some certain perspectives or some sort of, they all have the same ideology, then we're like, cutting off our nose, spite our faces. We're doing the same thing that we don't want them to do to us, where it seems like all atheists are like hedonistic, like orgy. Well, I mean, like, if you're gonna have an orgy, that's up to you. Like, I'm not gonna tell me you're yum, but I'm like sacrificing goats and eating babies. I want to think all like the worst stuff about us. It's like, okay, that's not realistic. Like, that's an extreme. But also they don't think that, or they think that we're all nihilist or whatever sort of perspective they have. We don't want them doing that to us. And I try to take on that perspective. Yes, it's complicated. Yes, I get, like, the anger and the frustration, because I've been in those. I know I've talked to those people. I'm just saying that through those experiences, this is the place that I've arrived at. Not saying you have to arrive at it. I don't really care. Like, however you get to where you want to go, that's fine, because it's your journey. I don't fucking know it. But I'm seeing what you're saying, and I'm trying to find like a balance to the art, the things that you're bringing up. That's all I'm doing. Also, Sheldon, no, I am not Italian. I am actually, my dad is from Albania and my mom is French. Though, if you go back to my ancestry, all the white countries, all of them, all the white people.
Well, I think also like what you were saying a second ago about trying to let people get to where they're at or whatever. A lot of times, um, I mean, you may end up finding that whatever disposition you had on it is reinforced through it, but sometimes every now and then people surprise you, and you may not. Sometimes, depending on what ideology you go into it with, or what you think. I don't want to say ideology. That's not the right word. What you think of that person going into it, they may end up
A
surprised.
bias. There is a presup bias that you're having against someone based on a stereotype or conceptualization you have of that person.
And
It's just
it may,
prejudice.
yeah, it may be the case that 9 times out of 10 they you're like, oh, seen that coming, like the but I think occasionally you run into people that are at least willing to have an honest conversation and stuff, and some of that stuff in the background and things of trauma and everything else. I think that there's you end up finding there's like a huge gradient in the people that you run into, and some areas are worse for it than others. some particular denominations are worse than others for some of that stuff.
Oh
Obviously,
yeah, like
yeah,
listen, I do not tolerate bigotry. I do not tolerate abuse. I do not tolerate any any sort of system where it makes another human being feel like they're less than.
yeah,
Um, if that's happening, I don't care what ideology you're under. You're, I think it's gross and disgusting, and I'm going to call that shit out. Because at the end of the day, it does not matter what your belief is what you do with the belief.
yeah,
Um, and you can, you know, justify a whole bunch of things based on how you trust a certain ideology, whether it be atheistic or theist. So I'm more concerned about that.
yeah,
Yes, well, I still like I'm an atheist activist, guys. Like I'm obviously calling out religion. Like
yeah.
I'm not calling out belief. Belief is not religion. Like you can believe in a god, but also like
Not
not
be
think
religious, right?
trans people are gross. Like you can, you know, it can. They're not mutually exclusive, guys.
Yeah. And I think that I think that I can understand what you're saying, Simami. You constantly see all this, like, for example, we talked about the Catholic Church a little bit.
Mhm.
There's certain things you associate with Catholic priests, right? I mean, you just it
Because
ebbs and
it's
flows.
true.
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
and those things definitely happened way more than makes sense mathematically. So yeah, but so I get feeling that way, and the trauma that you suffer, of course, is gonna inform your how you look at that thing. It's so I get it, you know, like I get the position. I don't necessarily agree with it. um, in every case.
okay, Suzanne, I'm going to address this one more time, and I'm going to stop.
Okay.
I understand what you're saying, but I'm warning against blanketing. I think that I know we are, but Christian nationalism is not Christianity. These are two separate ideologies. They are, for you know, a lot of their positions are diametrically opposed to one another, and so we have to be careful because how we're using certain like I definitely make a distinction between Christian nationalism and Christianity. Um like I like you make a distinction between like Orthodox Judaism versus, you know, like Judaism. You can do like things that like, you know, what the Taliban has done versus like, you know, Islam. Like these are just like typical people that are Islamists, like your normal everyday person. Like we understand that there's gradients to these things. We have to kind of do this. I know, like right now, I live in the United States. Trust me, I'm feeling it. I live in Florida. Trust me, I'm feeling it. But I have to keep that perspective because, again, we're not just arguing about philosophy anymore. It's that we're arguing about rights. We're arguing about like who gets space. For example, I live in a very red county, and I went to the hands off protest to not this past Saturday, but Saturday before. Okay. I didn't expect and I live in a county that 60 plus voted for Trump. Over 2,000 people showed up for that protest in a 5,000 population county, uh, city. So for me, that like, you know, I could assume that everybody that lives in my county, you know, is a bigot, or I can say what is being shown to me may not actually be a reality.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that I think it's important to, like, you can look at somebody's beliefs or whatever, but I mean, I would prefer people when they talk to me as an individual. Uh, sure, there's some underlying whatever with different things, but like, get to know me and what I think, not necessarily what you think my religion thinks. because that doesn't tell you anything really.
No, because you can, like I said, that you can be queer and you can be an atheist and you still voted for Trump. It's happened.
Yeah.
Does it confuse the fuck out of me? Yes, it does. But I've seen those people. I know those people exist. I've seen them in interviews, and I'm just like my brain kind of melts. When I was at the hands off protest, there was a veteran, a black veteran, in a Trump is like the greatest thing since like iced tea sort of a vibe, you know. And I'm just like the person that you're so diametrically opposed to is you know is the person that's harming you, and it's very confusing to me, but that's what indoctrination does. Those sort of perspectives, like there are trans people that are okay with Trump. um do I understand that? Fuck no, I don't. It's very confusing. Oh, my internet wife is here.
You reacted quicker than I could read it. I was like, what?
Sorry.
No, it's fine.
Told you it's the ADHD. Strong. So like I think that, and also too, like I'm gonna also kind of stress this about this. No, John, like Nancy offered to be my internet wife. So sorry. I love you. So ceremony, we're gonna have a ceremony. We'll fire all of our atheist friends.
Well,
We might have to do it twice to have it both on our channels.
I mean, Nancy's going to be in Kentucky in July.
Okay, listen, I'm still pissed because like I was going to go to Free Flow this year, and I couldn't because there was some issue. This is when I was transitioning, leaving the American branch of recovering from religion, and so it was a thing, and because of that, we didn't get to meet, and I'm very sad because a good portion of the people in this community, like Brentley and Phil Ferguson and Seth and some other wonderful people, and John, the godless engineer, like these, like my people, we're in Free Flow. Was I there? No. Am I mad? Yes. So I'm going to go to the American Atheist Convention next year because, but I am going to back cruise with the ACA in August. So fuck you.
Well, I'm just going to say, if you came to the ARC protest, John Gleason will be here. And as far as American Atheist, Jim Helton used to be president of American Atheist. And
I'm not making on the atheist money yet, man.
Yeah, right.
like George Soros is not sending my atheist check.
Yeah,
for doing the atheism.
big atheism has been lazy. Send Elon.
I know,
Musk
like I'm not
water
getting my
from us.
atheist money.
Yeah, but there'll be Arn will be here. There'll be all kinds of cool people here in Kentucky for that.
I'm excited. That's one thing because if you showed up, I guarantee we would have had a drunk makeout session next year. Nancy, don't threaten me with a good time. Don't do that. It's gonna make it happen. Me and Nancy will be in the same room sometime in the future and make out. It will be a thing.
Well, now I gotta get you. Now I'm gonna have to pay for you to come to the damn thing.
Right, where you just come, you can come for me and Nancy to shove to the Ark Encounter. Oh my God, we could make out at the Ark Encounter protest.
I mean, I'll even you can
totally
even
do it.
have the stage for 5 minutes if you want. I mean, but
oh my God. I just I want to like juxtapose like the incest boat versus like two queer females making out. like let's just juxtapose this just a bit.
and that's the crazy thing, and you could have a bunch of theists standing there, and they would be completely offended by one, but not the one that they should be.
Right.
Like,
Well,
It's
it because like I don't understand the full complexity of like how we like because like we have common hemoglobes, that have a certain like biome that can be traced back to like the first humans that came out of Africa. Um, cool. I still don't understand how that works. I know evolution on a track, but it's still a little because it's a very very long time. And looking at us irrational emotional me bags, I'm like, this was the final form. Really? Okay, cool.
yes.
Awesome. Great. Like I can't I'd have such a hard time like reconciling that little part, the time difference, and I think that's because of it is a long fucking time, and we are like a little blink, and like the evers, the expansion of the cosmos. So like it kind of fucks with my brain. So I kind of get where like people that you know I kind of get where people have a hard time conceptualizing. Like, I know people, like, obviously, I came from a person versus like that long stretch of time through evolution that we got to, our final form. Oh, joy.
So I guess humans of various varieties have been walking the earth for around a couple 100,000 years, and
Right.
I mean that's a small amount of time in talking, cosmically or geologically or any of those things, right? So it is kind of I get that part of it too, where it's difficult to like conceptualize exactly how long that is, and when we start talking about millions and billions of years, especially to really understand how long it takes for those things to happen. So I get people not like the immediate reaction being, well, yeah, you just infinite time and it works, okay?
Right. It's
Yeah.
like, that what? Well, and I think that's what's so hard is trying to like, and I guess what, and I think that's why indoctrination works, because like if you're put in like this little fucking bubble where you're told like they're 6,000 years old, because a lot of it is based on bullshit. But I can kind of see how you can logic yourself into it, because like those of us that came from belief, we can go, oh yeah. Like if you talk to my children, they're like, I don't understand how anyone can believe this bullshit. I'm like, you because I didn't indoctrinate you into it. When you're indoctrinated into something, it's very like you look at yourself and you're like, holy crap, man. If you've never been there, it's like, like I've never been a man
Yeah.
ever, like identified as a man. Don't know what that's like. Have no idea. Because
Yeah.
I can't get there because it's not an accessible part of my brain that can like go there, because it's a different experience.
Well, like you kind of like we compare different ideas to our own experiences, and there's just no way to do that with that. So there's yeah, I understand that. I think that that's I mean honestly, I look at it that way too. The one of the things that I had the hardest time wrapping my mind around was um, space and Earth being, or not space and Earth, space and time being parts of the same thing, right? Like that's space time is I think a really hard concept to get a hold of.
Yeah.
But
And I think and I
no,
think that also kind of limits even us as atheists, that, we understand, we're trying to come to some kind of like, truth based, broader understanding of our existence. Cool. Not saying there's any like I think that's great, because that's what everybody's trying to do. We are emotional, irrational meatbags, walking around trying to do our best. Some people do it through like I'm dealing with an existential crisis. um, uh, great. I'm having an existential crisis. I don't know what to do. I'm going to like fucking double down. The rest of us who are kind of just like, everything's fucking absurd. I don't know what's going on. It's Wednesday.
Yeah.
like fine. like I think that there's a dichotomy there where I'm just like, this is the one chance I got, and all I want to do is when I get old or whatever, if it's tomorrow, that I can look back on my life and know that I did good with the little fucking time I had.
Yeah. 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 Definitely. I think I take like the perspective of, hopefully I can leave some part of it better than it was, but I'm gonna try my best. The uh,
Because I just think that, like, especially now where everything is very digital and there's going to be like this footprint of us existing, like I want to know that if someone stumbles upon this particular video in the future, when I'm long gone, because I won't be around to experience it, that I think I wish you exactly what you deserve.
oh, sure.
Yeah,
Yes.
I
Yeah.
think there you go.
There couldn't.
Exactly what you deserve.
Yeah. Whatever you deserve, I surely hope you get it.
Yeah, like, yep. Because I think that's a more realistic way of looking at things. Natural consequences. Like, I don't believe in karma, but I think we create our own karma. If that makes sense. Like,
Uh,
what goes around comes around, and like not in like a spiritual sense, but like if I'm a dick, people aren't going to want to be around me. I'll probably be a dick back. But if I'm like cool and friendly and kind and like I'm trying to like, I'm living in hell, I just want to like, have a little place for us to like just hang out and be kind to one another. Like that.
yeah.
Like I want that.
Well, I went the total opposite way on that one, though, because
You want to go to the other side? That's
my,
fine. Like, we
my
need
first thought.
both.
Oh
Like, you
yeah,
don't
yeah,
have to go
right.
along
Yeah,
with
yeah.
me.
My first thought was, well, you have no choice but get what you deserve. So, um,
Right.
yeah. But I
Listen,
get what
okay,
you
like
mean.
if we're gonna philosophize about it, like fucking pedantic asshole. Like,
I didn't know that's where you were going with it.
no, it's fine.
I was like,
It just
what? Wait a
whenever,
minute.
like, because we're constantly philosophizing, so everything's like this means this, and what is the word? What are we actually talking about?
Well,
Which is not a problem. This is what makes me laugh because I know us. I know
yeah.
how we think.
Well, I got stoned a minute ago, and you said this thing, and
Yeah,
you were
we're
like,
both
yeah,
stoned. That's why this is what it devolves to. It devolves into philosophizing.
you're right.
Like my husband, um, my husband is the biggest sweet potato in the world. And he's mostly quiet. He has a philosophy degree, by the way, but you get a little bit of similar substances into him, he will just ramble, and I'm just like, cool, deep thoughts, deep like a puddle. Like, cool. I'm like, great.
Yeah. I hang out with some of I've got a couple friends that have philosophy degrees, and we hang out and talk sometimes. I do not have a philosophy degree, but I
You
hang out
don't
with
really need one. Like I say, like if you want to know about moral philosophy, just watch The Good Place. Like 3 seasons. 4 seasons. 4 seasons, 25 hours of your life. You get all the moral philosophy teaching you need. You don't even have, like, I took 2 semesters. I took philosophy 101, took philosophy 102, took ethics, and I took a bunch of psychology classes, and this is my final form. I am sorry if you're not amused, but here we are. Deal with it.
yeah, yeah. I don't. I would caution people though. Don't go looking at conversations between Christians and atheists on the internet for any kind of definition of what philosophy is. what it means to study philosophy because
I I like well, the thing is though, like psychology, there is a lot of moral philosophy in psychology because and also it really comes down to perception, like how whether like I have ADHD. um I have certain reactions and things that happen because of my brain, and my perspective of the world. What like therapy does is like, why are you like, aside from the chemicals, what other things and what can you do to moderate your behavior? That's
yeah,
what we're doing. That's what moral philosophy is that you're asking yourself questions. It might not be like related to trauma or like brain stuff, but it can be related to why, like if you're having any sort of like understanding of who you are and your perspectives and things like that. That's the type of stuff you should be asking yourself. Why do I treat like why do I think that some group of people are, better than another group of people, and so on and so forth? And we understand that there's a gradient. Those are the type of questions you ask yourself.
yeah. I like that. That's an interesting take on it. I like that. The
This is just my personal, but like I have heard psychologists say that there is a lot of moral philosophy in psychology, and understanding perspective, and that empathizing with a perspective does not mean you agree with it, but
yeah,
you offer empathy to a certain extent. Like I have a lot of compassion to an extent.
sure.
And I think that, understand that gradient is a good thing. That's why I'm not, when people want to make blanket statements, there's like the urge is to do that, and I get that because I do it too. But also at the same time, I'm like, if I don't like when people do it to me, like because I don't like it when people say like, oh, you think this or you did this, and I'm
Yeah,
like, you don't know my heart and mind. Like, hold on. Like, you don't know that.
yeah, yeah. Whenever they start assigning all kinds of things to you, I say that people have to like. They always try to put things in as many boxes as possible, and they get to the point to where they're like, they want to put you in an ever smaller and smaller box.
Nancy, sorry, Nancy talked about her vibrator, and I got excited. So sorry, it's my internet wife. Like,
Well, I mean, Nancy, we have to put that up on the screen later.
yeah, like Nancy, we're gonna have to have a conversation about your vibrator. Like,
No,
we'll have to do like a Friday night like wine hangout, and just saying, you know. Nancy and Patty are going to be on my channel next month, and I'm so excited about it because it's going to get crazy. Like,
yeah, Nancy
instant
and Patty.
friends.
Yeah, Nancy and Patty are two of my favorite people to hang out with.
They're the cool. Like, I like this is the thing about like Hitachi one. No, I can tell you. Look at the trees. The Hitachi one was not for Helen. Helen was like, no, sorry, too much for me. But like, I don't dumb anybody's yum, just not for me. Like,
uh, on
let's talk
here.
about masturbation, everybody.
Well, I mean,
It's a very interesting conversation. I'm
you're
sorry.
you're gonna make me blush is the problem. Not
Oh, okay. Good. I accomplished something.
uh,
I'm so sorry.
no, you're fine.
Oh my god, I love my friends.
uh,
Oh
the
my god. Oh, oh boy.
sounds like the cat is interested in the
My
vibration.
Grumpy wants that. I'll be right back. Okay, go. Go. There you go. Okay. Okay, got the cat out. I have 4 cats in this house.
Yeah,
So they're my children.
I
That one's
understand.
my grandson. That's my oldest is cat Grumpy. And then I have a little black Manx named Bellatrix. And then we have a gray, like just regular kitty cat named Catnip's Never Clean. And then my roommate has like a half tabby, half Siamese named Sylvie. So there's 4
Oh,
cats in my house.
sweet. Um, Sumami, who was in the chat earlier, has she puts pictures of her cats up all the time. She's all about it.
I decided like on my TikTok that when I do it, like I'm just gonna pick up pictures of cats, like my babies, and then people will want to like talk to me because I put up pictures of kitty cats because the kitty cats rule the internet.
Yeah,
So you know, that's how you get attention. Like
I
I should have
think
put up kitty cats in my background instead of in my quote.
I think if someone made like a channel where it was like atheists and cats, that they would do more views in the cat people on the internet than
Oh
the atheist
yeah,
people.
yeah.
Yeah,
So, are you a cat person, a dog person, a reptile person? Like, what is your?
I like pets. I mean, I'm not like I guess I've had more dogs than anything, so I'm fond of
Mm,
dogs. But I'm not really like there's not one that I would say, oh, I would much rather have a dog than a cat for some reason. Like I like cats too. I don't know. I've wanted to. I've never had a reptile. I want to try that.
we have a snake.
Yeah.
We have a boa named Loki. He is like I really like boas. Or I would have a python. Because those are good like domestic snakes to have. Um, he is very pretty. I would show you who he is, but he's in his cage and he's chilling right now. But he's like, we did have another boa that got to like 6.5 feet, and he passed away. So this was given to us by our exes, and so because they had an overstock of reptiles, so we got a snake.
Oh,
And so I don't have a lifestyle for a dog though, because like the way that I live my life, cats are very independent animals, and you can, as long as they have food and water and a litter box, they're kind of cool. Um, they are very affectionate and they want attention, but they're also okay, like kind of being on their own. Um, that's more my pet. I like dogs, and like I would love my dream dog is a Pomsky. They are so cute. Have you ever seen a Pomsky?
what is a Pomeranian?
It's
What?
half Pomeranian and half Husky.
Oh, okay. No,
They are
I've
the
never seen that.
cutest fucking dogs in the universe. Like they are so cute. Like that is my dream dog. And then if I was just gonna get like or a black Scottish Terrier, like I think those are like super adorable. Like those are but like my type. If I was gonna get a pure rabbit dog, but knowing me, because if I was gonna get a dog, I get a mutt. I get some kind of genetic mutation, weird dog. but but I don't have, but also at the same time, like my lifestyle doesn't lend to a dog. Um, I feel like a dog is kind of like having a toddler all the time, and I'm way too independent for that. So I have cats.
Yeah, I just wanted to. I was curious when you said it, so
Are they they're so cute. Like, gods, look at this. Like, the cutest dog.
yeah,
They're so cute.
neat. No,
They're
I'd
three
never.
thousand dollars plus, so they're a bougie dog. But
Yeah,
I'm like, I love them so much. Like they're the cutest dogs because they grow to about medium size puppers because and but they have like the very very soft fur that Pomeranians have, and they have like these very unique features. And as puppies, I'm losing my mind. Like they're so cute. Like that's my dream dog because I would spoil the fuck out of it.
I think my favorite dog I ever had was a boxer. Um, I had a boxer that was a really cool dog. Uh,
the the last I like boxers. Like I think there's like my friends have a French bulldog. named Nina that I love that fucking dog. Like she's
I love those too.
I love bulldogs.
Yeah.
I know it's because of evolution and we kind of fucked them up that they can't breathe. It's like, and I'm like, a part of me is just like, I love them, like this little puppy. I'm sorry, like and they're little squishy faces and they're so cute and I love them, but like also at the same time, like they have a lot of health problems and I can't afford the vet bills.
Oh,
Like two of my gay friends own a French bulldog, and I'm like, because you guys are never having children, and these are your fucking animals, and they both make really good money, and like that's why you have a bulldog because I can't afford a bulldog. That's why I have cats.
yeah, yeah. Well, that is the coolest thing about cats. They're you don't have to pay much for them to keep you. They
If you keep up with their, the regular pet visits, like as long as you get their initial shots, you're feeding them, watering them, and if they don't look that great, you bring it to the vet, they're fine. It's like because
yeah.
please keep your cats indoors. People do not have an outside cat; they will kill birds indiscriminately. They don't care, and
No,
we don't want that. Yeah, don't do that.
cats. Cats are
Oh
very
wow! Look at the trees.
self-sufficient.
I was reading about his boxers.
Oh, one team charged to see me on family from a house fire. Oh wow.
Wow, that's really cool.
Yeah.
My cats won't do that. So they did studies. So this is really funny. So if you corpses that people that die in their homes, they gauge which animal will start eating their person first.
Oh yeah.
Cats will do it about 13 hours, which is funny because I feed my cats at 6:30 in the morning, like 6:30 a.m. every day. Around 6 p.m. when I get home, they want to eat and they are very demanding. So that makes sense to me. Dogs will last almost 24 hours before they will start to actually snack on the person. So there's there's definitely that thing about like cats and dogs that cats really don't give a fuck. They're just like I'm hungry now. Like,
Well, I don't. Yeah, I know cats.
cats are
Cats
assholes.
go at you quick. They. I
But
mean,
I love
cats.
them.
Well, I mean, like you with with a lot of other animals, you can have like, and I guess cats too. You can have a relationship with cats, but it's a
My
very different one.
It's a very different one.
Yes.
Cats like when they want to like my cat Bellatrix, she's a weirdo. But one thing she does is that she'll get into kitten mode and like this morning, unprompted, jumps up on the bed and she'll do this thing where she starts kneading at me like I'm her mama, and then she'll tuck her head under my chin and just start purring and wants like falls into like this kitten mode because she's imprinted on me and I'm like okay, like, but it's at her discretion.
Right.
I can't force that.
Right.
Where dogs tend to, because of their brains, have a different sort of bonding experience with people. Um, to me, that's like very high energy for me, and I'm just
Sure.
like, whoa, hold on. Like even in relationships, I'm kind of like, okay, like please don't be needy. I do not do needy well. Like it's too much.
Yeah. Well, yeah. No, I agree. The cats are different.
Yeah,
they're not.
cats are assholes, but I
Yeah.
that's why I appreciate cats because not that I'm an asshole, but I have like don't fuck with me energy. Like I'll let you
Right.
know if we can hang. Like
Yeah.
I'll decide. Thank you very much.
I feel like cats are like you're letting a wild animal loose in your house, and uh, you know you're gonna be friends with it when you can because it's a wild animal.
Oh, if they were full, this is another thing too. Like know how they have those silver foxes that they've in Russia that they bred enough that they act like dogs. Um, when you can't do that with cats, cats have had the same evolution um since they started entering like human society. Like dogs, you can kind of breed certain traits into them. You can't do that with cats. Like you can get characteristics of a certain breed of cat you want, but you'll still get a cat. Like it will have certain, it will have that personality. It's just like you can't breed into me what you want.
Yeah.
You know, and I find that very fascinating because like that's a whole like because like with dogs you can kind of socialize a dog like an older dog that if it's been astray or whatever you can socialize it to a certain degree. Cats you can't. If you I think it's within if you don't get a cat within the first 2 years, um 3 years, if you don't get a cat by its 3 years old to learn to socialize it with humans, if you get past 3 years it will not socialize unless it takes a lot longer to get
Yeah.
that cat to socialize with people. I'm not saying it's impossible, but usually 3 and younger. That's why, like, when people say, like, if you're gonna adopt like an older kitty, it's usually a cat that's been retired, like given up by like somebody that isn't able to take care of it. You don't see a whole lot of people like pulling a 10-year-old kitty cat off the street and saying adopt it. They do that with dogs because it's much easier to train the dog to socialize
Sure, that makes sense.
because of their pack mentality.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well,
Again, I'm philosophizing about psychology about
no,
species that aren't me.
again, I wanted to get to know you, and this was a good
This
way
is
to
my
do
life, everybody. I philosophize a lot.
that. No, I don't think I view it that way, but um,
Or I'm just rambling. I'm high too,
should we
so I
philo-
am just rambling.
well, let's philosophize about your philosophizing of your life. The um,
So you're gonna come on my channel in late May or June, probably. I don't know. It will happen. You're gonna come
okay,
on my channel,
yeah,
and then you can talk about whatever you want to talk about. And that's gonna happen.
yes, ma'am.
And then like when I hit 200 subscribers, I'm gonna have a party. And then we're gonna have a 200 subscriber party because like I feel like I have achieved something at 200 people. So
No, I every time like
thank you for these are my okay. So Nancy, somebody told me like way back in my early like when I was like on a particular podcast, someone told me I shouldn't wear these glasses, and they liked me. It was a man, and I'm like, I'm sorry. Like they're like, you shouldn't wear glasses. You're so much prettier without them. And I was like, listen, motherfucker, I don't care what you have to say. I'm gonna do what I want. So thank you, Nancy, for validating my glasses because I love these. So anyway, I'm just having a moment. Sorry, internet wife moment.
no, you're fine. It gave me a chance to put your link in the chat, so people can go subscribe.
Yeah, so my friend AJ from the nonprofits Wasted Human, there she is. She's going to be on my channel tomorrow, and we're going to talk about veganism at 7 p.m. Eastern. So check out that. Next week I have other wonderful people on. Am I looking at my calendar? Nope. But you'll find out.
Yeah,
Just go subscribe, guys. Like I don't like my goal is that like if I have someone on my channel, I try to advertise them on my channel at least 2 days before. So and then I'll do a day promo because I feel like having that closer time gets people like alert to it. Um, because like if you post a bunch of like upcoming this is just me and this is the ADHD talking. I'm not judging because everybody's got different brains. My brain is that when you have like all a bunch of upcoming stuff, I'm like too much. That's just me. But if I'm like pushing like, hey, as we go, this person's on, cool, that's me.
I
Like
I think that's the better way to do it, honestly, because I had to change. I used to post all my stuff like a month or two ahead of time. Like, I would just go put my whole everything in my whole calendar. I would post it all at once every couple months, and it ended up causing like people didn't know when stuff was coming on and everything else because of so much stuff I'd posted, and so I backed off and I only post things like maybe a week ahead of time now, and it works much better for everybody else who's trying to look for things
it,
quickly.
it, it speaks to my like wait to the last thing mindset, but also I would get ace in my college classes because I was a procrastinator. So
Oh, I'm
I
the
feel
best at
like
that.
why it's not broke, so why fix it?
Yeah.
Like because I don't know how to internet. like I know, okay, like I know like with
Yes,
my other like
you know
atheists,
more than
like
you're letting
other
on.
atheists, like content creators that you're supposed to use the TikTok. I know. I
Yeah.
know I should just making like little 30-second videos about like who's going to be on my show. I know. I don't want to. Like I just don't. Like I know I don't want to be part of the kids. I'm a middle-aged woman. I do not want to be part of the cool kids. I'm lazy.
We are just alike.
I
This,
know. I know.
this has been quite entertaining because every time you talk about the stuff with this, it's like, oh yeah, hey, I do that exact same thing. I hate making extra stuff and think, well, it's not that I hate doing it. And in fact, I have all kinds of videos that never got released and stuff because I didn't want to edit them, or like I just like I recorded something and I was like, ah, hell with it. Like I'm real
Well,
bad
like
at
I
perfecting stuff.
tried for like a hog minute. The only like I have one video where I talk about recovering from religion, and then like I just don't have the object permanence for it. And also too, like because like it's so much easier if I just have a thumbnail and I just send it off and be like, just come. And also too, like we're all connected to each other. I'm like, listen, I'm like, you have an audience that really likes you. Just bring them with you. That's all I'm asking. Like,
Yeah,
please don't make me do more work. Like I'm old. And also too, I don't have any financial other than like I want $27 a month to play to pay for my Streamlabs account. Even if I only get 10, that means I only have to pay $17.
sure.
So whatever that looks like, I'm fine. That's all I care about. I'm not doing this because like I'm looking to turn this into a job.
Yeah,
Please don't, because I know also the pool we all swim in is small.
right.
It's big
Yeah,
and it's small at the same time. Like I'm not doing movie reviews or talking about like politics or I'm talking about like, hey, what do you believe in and why, and different perspectives, and trying to like build community amongst us,
yeah,
you know. But like one thing I am trying to do is to expand community beyond our own, because I feel like everybody can be trapped into bias, and right now I feel like again you can have a different philosophy, but it's like, are you aligned on values? And that's kind of I've hit that point in my evolution as a secular humanist atheist breakdown of bullshit.
yeah.
Oh,
Nancy.
Nancy! Ooh, Elliot's not here, and I'm kind of mad about it. Like I'm gonna be like, what the fuck, man? I was on the Kentucky Atheist. Where were you?
Yeah,
Where were you? Like I don't get him shit. Nancy, we have to give us our shit.
yeah. Tell him I was disappointed. The
It's like a secular rarity, John.
Yeah, Yeah, we were having a inside baseball conversation there for a second, weren't we?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like welcome to the world of the atheist community, like YouTube community.
Yeah.
Welcome to the club.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, you want to end the show. I'm so sorry.
No, no, no. I Secular Rarity, he's helped me a lot. Like what to do next and stuff with some of the things to do
He
with the art.
is I love like
Yeah.
he is probably he's one of the sexiest people on the internet in the atheist community. I'm gonna just say that right now. I'm gonna own that. I'm sorry. Who's that guy? So one. Also two, we've also been very supportive of each other since we became friends. So that's because he is like
How
one
could you
of these
not?
actually people that are like, hey, I'm going to help you,
Yeah.
like kind of person. And that's why I love him. That's why I gave him a side eye. He was okay. So when he had his fundraiser like a couple weeks ago, okay,
Mhm.
I was really mad because he did not invite me. And I got pissed. I was like, what the fuck you do, man? And he was on Maya's channel. And I was like, I'm giving you side eye right now because you did not make me involved in this. And I was like, no, 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 no. So, because if you're having a fundraiser and you do not have me involved, I'm going to be a little mad. I am
Well, I mean,
because
I'm having a
I will
fundraiser
bug
Saturday.
people. I know a lot of fucking people. So if you're having a fundraiser for your channel for a particular like secular organization that's raising funds to like connect people or help people get access to certain things, and you do not get me involved, I'm gonna be pissed. I'm just saying because I know a lot of people.
We're doing a fundraiser Saturday uh, for the art thing.
That's my tattoo day.
At
But
least
what is your
I told you
fundraiser?
I didn't want to be in trouble. What is it
What's your fundraiser?
for the Art Encounter protest? We'll have.
Okay. So, okay, like I can't I won't be like cuz usually I'm like I'll help promote, but send me the link stuff and I will share it on my socials and
Oh,
also
okay.
link to the stream. So
Yeah,
I will put it on my socials so we can all like
yeah.
atheists fuck each other. So and give all the atheists money. So that's going to be a thing. So
Well, no, I mean it's gonna be. I'm just having like some of the speakers on are gonna come on and talk. And
Is Aaron going this year?
Aaron is gonna be at the protest. He's not gonna be at the fundraiser because it's
It's Aaron.
this weekend, which is American
No,
Atheist.
it's because it's American Atheists. It's
Yeah,
the American Atheist Conference this
yeah,
weekend, which I'm so mad that I'm not there.
yeah.
Fuck.
I didn't think about. I knew that they did it on Easter weekend, but I didn't think about that whenever I set all this up.
I'm getting tattoos for Easter weekend.
Well,
So I'm giving sacrifice of my flesh
yeah,
to ink something something. So
yeah. And in fact, the thing we were talking about, where it's like I need to post this video or whatever, I've yet to set up the stream for the fundraiser.
okay, well when you set it up, send me a link
Yeah,
and I will promote it on my socials and all that type of stuff. Like I'm serious. Like if you have a channel and there's an organization that you want to promote, please come bug me because
yeah,
I will help out because I know a lot of people in this community that I can connect with that are connected to other people. That's how we do this grassroots shit.
yeah,
So, because my goal is in the apocalypse that the money goes, like, even if you don't only donate like $1, at least like, or I don't even say that donate, like you're sharing the streams, you're sharing like these kind of combined values that we all have, that also makes a big difference. So, like we if we're gonna have a lag algorithm algorithm oh my god, I can't say the word algorithms, gods, we might as well appease them
yeah.
and make sure that they're working for us.
No doubt. Yeah. Okay, yeah, I'll get that to you.
Yeah, I know plenty of people I will bug
Awesome. Well,
to
I
make it
appreciate
happen
that a lot.
because I will be super fucking annoying.
I think that I've like at my channel we're at what like 1,379, I think 78, something like that, subscribers. And you said about when you reach 200, like you think that's a lot. I still celebrate every 100 that I hit. I'm like, oh, we're
Well,
getting ready to hit
like the first
1,500.
100 was all my friends. Like I know who subscribed to my channel. Like that's
Yeah.
why I'm trying to get to 200 because I got to 100 in a month, and I'm like, I know who subscribed to my channel.
Yeah.
Like because it's 4 years of cultivating relationships. Now, like when I get to 200, I feel like I've actually like okay, like people like okay, like actually saw my content. And I was like, I dig it.
I'll uh I'll share your stuff on my things
Thank you. I appreciate that. And like,
on
oh,
my
and
website.
I'll have you on my channel. Also, too, um, if you would like to be on my channel, email me at freethinkerfireside.com. It's not free thinkers because I'm the free thinker. So see how that works? Yeah. So freethinkerfireside at gmail.com. That is my, if you want to be on the show, connect to me there. Or you can just make something in the comment section of the video, and I will also get that. But email me, or you can DM me on Facebook. I am Helen Greene, Greene, and my stupid face will show up on my social media. So you can also find me on Facebook. Um, you can go to my TikTok. You're going to be woefully disappointed. Please try to contact me on Bluesky, Facebook Messenger, or on my YouTube channel. There, that you will, or email me. You will get a response. Instagram or TikTok. Good luck.
Well, I just copied and pasted them from
No,
your.
I have channels. But like, I was seriously sitting there, like, I was like, okay, I'm gonna be on your channel tonight, and I was just like, okay, I should share the link on my Instagram, and I'm like, I don't want to do a post, I just want to share the link,
Oh,
and
I
I don't
know. Isn't
know
that a
how to
pain in
do
the
that on
ass?
Instagram because I'm old.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I hate that about Instagram. Uh,
I need my child, like my child, I need my children that are in their early 20s that I'm like, teach me how to internet.
yeah,
Children. Like,
I'll be 43 in a couple months. So
like I'm 48, like, and I'm just like, wow, I'm like, time is weird.
yeah,
um Also at the same time, like, I don't know what 48 is supposed to feel like other than my back hurts, but that starts in your 30s. So what's that?
yeah,
And also like I don't know what, like, but somebody told me that my 40s were going to be the best possible time of my life, and I kind of agree. Like my 40s has been the shit.
yeah,
Like I'm really digging my 40s. That's why I'm sad to see the men. Like,
yeah. Uh,
oh, Nancy, so to answer your question in my birthday week, so I'm going to do tattoos on Saturday, but also Cara from Recovering from Religion. So yesterday I was having, like, my husband also for my birthday week bought me a lime tree, a couple of blueberry bushes, and a down in jasmine, because I when we were living in our old house, we just didn't have like uh the finances and certain things to have a lime tree, but we moved into our new house. So my husband got me a lime tree. It is sitting in my front yard, and every day I look at it and it makes me super happy. And he also got me a couple of blueberry trees. But also as well, my oldest child gave me a D&D like dice box with Cthulhu on the front. Love my children. Thank you. And so yesterday I was kind of having a bad day, and I came home my car from recovering from religion, one of my wonderful human beings in my life. I got surprise birthday gifts because we were hanging out on Friday, and I happened to mention that my birthday was last Wednesday, and this was just a casual conversation and not expect presents. I never do. So they got me this little ghosty, and it says, "I hope we're friends until we die. Then I hope we stay friends so we can scare the shit out of people." So, like, we were little ghost friends. And they also got me a candle that smells like honeysuckle that says, "May your enemies choke on a bag of dicks." So
Perfect.
it's perfect.
Yeah.
So, like, so that was a wonderful little, like, birthday, thing. So, so thank you for asking. So I had to share that because, like, I have a lot of wonderful people in my life that, are like, "Hey, Helen's still alive and we love her." And I was like, "Cool." Thank you
Yeah.
for celebrating. My
No,
parents had sex and I was born.
I didn't expect you to come back that far. Awesome. Well, I guess on
You
that
should
we
be
should
really
probably end it.
thanking my mom. Like, that you get me. Like,
Well, I don't want to. I- well, we'll end it here. That way, I can call your mother
don't,
and
like,
thank
not
her.
in a weird way. Just be like, "Hey,
Thanks
cool."
for having sex.
Like,
What the hell? I'm just joking. But I just wanted to
I
say
know.
thank you for your
You're
service.
welcome, EJ. You're welcome. Luckily,
But
you don't know who my parents look like, but you can just fill in the gaps so you can get there.
yeah, doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I'll go pee.
No matter what you think it is, it's going to be wrong.
It's gonna be so wrong. Like, one of the normal things about, like, when you have older children, you can embarrass your kids about talking about your sex life, and it's great. Like, I love that
Yeah. Uh,
because my mom. So, like, can I tell a story
yeah.
because of my uber religious mom? Okay, so sorry, story time.
No.
So my parents have been together since 1956. Okay. They are old school married. They've been together a long time. And back in, like, the early 2000s, my dad got bladder cancer. And it was like a couple years struggle and things like that, and things happen. Okay. Now, keep in mind, my mom is a peach. Like, if you met my mom, she would hug you, love you, say, but also at the same time, um, she doesn't talk about sex. My mom never talked to me about sex. Doesn't acknowledge that I've had sex, and has this kind of innocence about her. So, so that's my mother. Okay. She's your grandma, everybody. Like, she is, like, French Canadian. I love you, grandma. That's my mom. Okay. So we are, and I remember this clearly. I was pregnant with my son, which was my second, pregnancy, and my dad was in had been going through bladder bladder treatment, uh, treatment for his bladder cancer. So my so we're sitting in the car, and my mother turns to me, and she's out of the blue. Now, keep in mind, I am 23 years old and a queer person. I've had a lot of sex. My mother has never talked to me about sex. Ever. Ever, ever, ever. My mom, out of the blue, says, "Father and I haven't been having sex a lot." And I can feel myself asking the question, and it tumbles out of my mouth. And I'm going to regret in that instant the answer I get. So I said, "Well, Mom, before dad got sick, how often we were having sex. And she goes, oh, at least 3 times a week. I was like, I'm sorry. What? What? You know what? I didn't need to know that. Because in my brain, there were 6 of us. My parents have had sex 6 times. I was just like, now when I was young and dad was making really good money, all the trips you took abroad, now's all start to make sense. And I'm like, why am I acknowledging this? I'm very uncomfortable. Make it stop. Because my kids know I have sex and I throw out jokes all the time and stuff like that, because that's part of my dialogue. Like, you all know me, you know.
Right.
If you're a parent, when you have no sexual context, you don't even see your parent as a sexual being, that you can, like, it's a shock. So,
Sure.
you know, that was at 24 years old, and I'm still kind of traumatized by it. Like, it kind of like messes with my brain.
That you asked a question and realized you didn't want to know the answer.
I didn't really want to know.
Normal question.
No.
That's fun.
Like, I was like, why are you doing this now, Mom? This isn't part of our relationship. What are you doing? Like,
yeah. The area where I grew up, they would discourage you from even having any conversations about it with anyone.
because my mom, like, didn't even want to acknowledge, like, people had sex. Like, but
Yeah.
though I'm like, Mom, I'm like, you have 6 children. Like, something. Like, and like, like, I don't want, like, to think about it at the same time, but like, I know me, and I'm like, Also, my mom, like, one time we were driving home from my nephew's wedding, and somehow the conversation got into lesbianism. I'm with my dad, my mom, and my aunt, who are all in their 60s. Okay, this is a weird conversation. And I don't know how the conversation got to gay people, but that's where the conversation. We were all a little drunk, so I blame the alcohol. And my aunt my aunt says, like, a penis looks like a monster, and and she starts explaining, like, how she likes penis, but she also finds it, like, absolutely, like, horrifying. And then my mother starts talking about vagina, but she's like, I'm not, and she kept saying, like, she wasn't into women, where she was kind of hinting where she was kind of into women, because she was a doubt that protest too much. And I'm sitting there, like, with these very conservative Christian people, and I'm like, where am I? Where am I? And my dad's laughing because, like, he not that we need a reason to start listening. It was so strange. Like, listen, like, if you like this is one of those things where, when you realize that your parents and family members are people, they're not just, like, family members, but also at the same time, you don't open with, like, I'm not a lesbian, but I might have thought about sleeping with a woman conversation that you're not expecting from your mother at random times. It is weird. It's very strange.
I mean, if that conversation came up with my mother, it would it would be strange.
Like, that's the thing. Like, I know my parents are people, and they're just as diverse in their expressions. My dad was alive, and my mom, and that kind of thing. But also at the same time, it's just like, you don't open that conversation after 24 years of, like,
Yeah.
not talking to your child about sex at all. Like, what are you doing?
They
It's kind of like a flasher. I'm just going to show you my thing. And it's just like, whoa, hold
well,
on.
they went all those years and didn't want to mention that, and then they got older and was like, ah, hell with it. I'm gonna have to tell everybody this thing, and just
I
let
was
loose
like,
some crazy.
Mom, I was like, this is not our relationship. Like you're supposed to ignore that I'm sexually active and queer. Like you're supposed to ignore those things about me. Like I am in a cis normative relationship, had a couple of kids. Just everything else, just ignore it. I know you know it's real. You're just going to ignore it. Do that. Do that.
Yeah,
Just ignore it. Great. Fine. I love you. You know, we're gonna play Scrabble together, like and hang out. You don't have to talk. You don't have to talk to me about my sexuality or how I live my life. That's perfect. Don't start talking to me about your sexual relationship with my father. That's gross. And I don't want to know. Not a good
yeah,
time.
yeah. No, no.
It's not a good
I've
time.
never. It's never came to me that I was interested in that aspect of my parents' life. Never
Don't
thought.
recommend everybody. I am
But
so sorry. I just had to mention that story because, like, I don't know how we got there, but like, I was like, I have to mention like, this weird
I love it.
conversation I had with my aunt and my mom and my dad. Like, it was very strange.
If no, I want you to be comfortable to tell whatever story you want to tell here.
Thank you.
The
This is a safe space.
Right, right. Well, I mean, this is the goal of talking with other atheists a lot is to get to know people and um, you know the probably your parents having sex isn't the first thing that's going to come to mind when someone mentions your name, but you know
Now it's going to be. Thank you for everybody
I'll
for being
remember you
here.
having that. Um, I've
My
laughed
mom
so much
also
on
shares
Facebook.
my name. So I am named for my mother. My mother's a Helen. Helene as like because we did the front, but it's Helen, and I'm named for my mom.
Yeah.
So there's that too.
Well,
So, but my dad would call me the babe, like what to distinguish because she would call like he would call my mom Hells and then he would call me the babe to distinguish ourselves. Where like I've kind of developed the moniker Hell's Bells because I feel like someone's like, "You're really into ACDC." I was like, "No, someone gave me that nickname because they said like you're kind of annoying," and I was like, "Cool." I'm gonna. I'm like, I'm just gonna adopt it. It's gonna be my thing. So,
well, that's a neat story about how you got the name because yeah,
yeah, somebody said they named me house bells because like you're kind of annoying where like someone's constantly ringing an alarm bell at you.
yeah,
And I was like, oh, my friend Amanda called me that, and I was like, oh my god, I'm so adopting that as like an part of my identity.
yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, it's a
To
cool
be fair,
name.
Nancy, I'm probably yelling. I'm
Oh yeah, yeah. She's louder
definitely
than I am
yelling
for sure. Um,
because I'm
but
very loud.
it's not that you're yelling; it's just your audio's louder.
My
Uh,
it might be too. I don't know. I don't know. Also, I tend to project.
yeah,
Um, it is the ADHD way.
yeah,
So
yeah. No, I noticed from the beginning you were louder than me, but I was just like, well,
yes,
everybody.
I know it needs more cowbell. Thank you very much.
Well,
Blue Oyster Cult, Christopher Walken, something early 1990s SNL skit.
that's like the best SNL skit ever.
It's
Let's
one of
just
the best.
um. All right. Well, I'm gonna end this. I'd like.
I, oh, good. I want to save your sandy. Also, my husband has made food and I can smell it,
Oh,
so I'm
well,
hungry. So I'm
um,
gonna go put it in my face hole.
I appreciate you coming and talking with me.
This is really fun.
And anytime you want me to come, just give me the
Oh,
date.
I'll just DM you. Or
And
Robin will say, like, hey.
I don't, I haven't been scheduling thing more than like a couple weeks at a time at all. So, yeah, just let me know whenever. And
Yeah, no, I would
I'll
love
be
for
happy
you to
to.
be on. I
Yeah.
would. And introduce you to my weird cool people that hang out with me. That'd be really great. So
Yeah,
I want you to come hang out on my channel.
yeah.
So you should do that. So
Uh,
hey, so tomorrow, AJ, wave hi AJ, way to see humans gonna be on my channel tomorrow talking about veganism. And then I have other wonderful people coming on next week. Am I gonna look up my calendar right now? Nope. But you'll know. You follow me on the socials, you'll know. Also like subscribe and do things and share. If you are a friend of the atheist community of Austin, you can find me on the nonprofits. So, and subscribe to all the other channels as well. Even if you don't always watch the shows, just subscribe. Like, that's great for the algorithms. And every Tuesday night, if you go to the atheist community of Austin TikTok, I do a TikTok live every Tuesday night where I talk to people either about what they believe in and why, or why they left religion, or deconstruction, recovering from religion, all that stuff. So,
yep.
and also Nancy and Patty from the Apostate Series will be on May 28th. So
Nice.
cool. They're like, because I know awesome people. Okay, what you got coming up on your own channel? Show your shit on your own channel.
I've got the fundraiser for the Ark Encounter protest on Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern. And whenever we end here, I'll play a little ad for it if you don't know what that is. I think everybody here knows what it is. I don't need to play the ad. Everybody here knows what that ad is. So, but yeah.
I want to go to the Ark Encounter, but I don't want to pay the money. Like, I don't want to give Ken Ham money, but I kind of want to go so I can just like let my mind explode.
Well, I have about a dozen free passes.
Oh my god, I'm gonna have to come up to Kentucky and we'll have to do a hangout and we'll go to the Ark Encounter together. We'll do it
Yeah.
as like a friendship bonding thing.
Okay.
Okay, like
Yeah.
that's gonna happen. I'll get SR to come with me because like Tennessee and Kentucky are right next to each other. They're kind of fucking that we could be like all
He'll,
hang out and go to
he'll
the
be
Ark
there
Encounter
speaking at the
together.
protest.
Oh my god, 2026. Let me get.
SR will be one of the speakers at the protest. So this year.
Yeah,
So.
like okay, well, Nancy, if I sleep next to you, there's not going to be a lot of sleeping. Just
That's
gonna
that.
say.
I mean,
Sorry, I'm a slut. I'm sorry. It's fine.
I don't think.
Do I have a crush on Nancy? Maybe a little bit. So.
Well,
She is my internet wife. Like, if you
I,
don't have a crush on your internet wife, like, what are you doing?
right.
Like,
Yeah. What are you? What kind of person are you?
what kind of person are you? You don't have a crush on your internet wife.
All
And we're
right.
gonna have a ceremony. Nancy, we have to have a ceremony on each of our channels. Like, yeah, we'll keep joking. Okay, I'm gonna let you shut it down. We're gonna go to bed. I'm gonna go eat tuna steak and green beans. Bye.
She's